Hello and welcome to Team Fortress TV. My name is EverX and this is the ETF2L Season 27 High Playoffs, the semi-finals between the teams mkcat and the Frenchies of 3.5 stars. They're two really closely matched teams and I think this is going to be a good one tonight. So to bring you all the action that's coming our way, we have good old Gemm on production, and casting with me tonight, somebody I'm very excited to be casting with is the one and only Ombrack. Hello.
Hey, you're flattering me. I'm blushing now.
All right, well, let's kick things off. Let's talk about 3.5 stars a little bit, because they're a team we've seen around for a little while. They most recently competed at the Gamers Assembly Land. But Ombrack, tell us a little bit more about this team. Who's going to be on the roster for tonight, and what can we expect from them?
So, first thing first, the roster is Sans on Medic, which is actually the only non-French player on this team. He's Belgian. Then on Demo, you have Aline Smiley. Raf is playing Roamer. Olga is playing Pocket. And the two scouts tonight are Blade on the Roaming Scout and Mr. Skirt or Fafa on Pocket Scout.
All right, good stuff. I'm just having a look at their performance in this season so far, and it's looking pretty strong. There's a lot of green on here. They did lose in week 1 to Lolly Squad, and there's a default loss and a default win as well. But yeah, in the quarterfinals, I suppose, last week, they did beat out Animate. That is why they are in this game right now, the semi-final. So yeah, that's good stuff. Let's have a quick look at mkcat as well. These guys have had an absolutely storming season. Just a sea of green in this results page right now. They dropped a map to Lolly Squad, but other than that, you know, very, very strong. So we do have, well, in terms of the medics, I'm not entirely sure. Looking at the server right now, it could be that Cherry Rendezvous, their main medic, may be subbed out due to illness issues, but we'll have to see. But you know, for now, Cherry is playing medic. We have Callum on the Pocket and Lanza on the Roamer, and two very strong scouts indeed, Adelos and Thomas, or K as he may be known to you. So have you got any thoughts on this team, Ombrack? How do you think they really stack up together?
To be quite honest, didn't expect them to perform that well this season. Like as you mentioned, they only dropped 1 point this season, 1 map this season to Lolly Squad, which is another semi-playoff team, so quite good performances so far. And what struck me about this team is that I don't see any outshining player. You know, I think it's actually a team that works with chemistry, with strategies. No star players, just solid overall players and team cohesion.
Yeah, that's interesting actually. What do you think? Are there standout, almost carry players for 3.5 then?
Now that Blade has joined the roster, I would say Blade is their standout player. Like yeah. He's been playing Prem last season. He's a proven Prem player, so I think he's their carry, along with Olga on Pocket, who can launch some crazy DPM sometimes. While on the other side, besides maybe Eames, who can have really, really good games, I don't see anyone having such of an impact like Blade can have on 3.5 stars. Okay,
that's no, that is interesting. I mean, you mentioned Eames. I think he does take that main calling role on the demo man for mkcat. So that is an interesting one to see. It says on their profile here, 40% heals man. That is Eames. He takes those. He takes those calls. So those heals. Sorry, makes those calls for his team. But yeah, I think you are right. They do play very well together, very connected and in sync. In part, I suppose, due to that strong main calling. Do you know who main calls for 3.5?
I would figure it's Raf, which is kind of odd because he's playing the Roamer soldier. Yeah. But I think he's been main calling for this team for a long time now, as long as I can recall. On LAN, he's been the main caller. He was playing Medic on LAN, but I think even a Roamer is main calling. Maybe Sounds can share the call with him. But yeah, if someone is making a call on this team, it's definitely Raf.
Right, main call Roma. That's a bizarre one. That is. I don't think we've seen that an awful lot. But yeah. Okay. How are we doing? We're having a server reset right now. Interesting. Okay. think they're just changing the map. So talking of maps, we are going to be seeing the 3 maps: Product, first of all, then Process, and if it comes to it, if we need that decider, we've got Reckoner at the end. So Product and Reckoner were mkcat's picks, but Process were the Frenchies' picks. So what do you think about that then? Which maps do you think that these teams will be strongest on?
So I think it's important to precise that Product is Im's team mkcat pick, but I think it's a map that favors 3.5 stars as of today, mainly because of Blade, because Product is a really scout heavy map, and I think the 2 scouts from the Frenchies are a bit better than the scouts from mkcat. Like, no disrespect to Eidolos or Tomasz, but I think on a regular basis, Blade and Fafa can outshine the 2 other scouts.
That's interesting, actually, because I was going to mention earlier, I think the scouts, Tomasz and Eidolos are the really sort of DM heavy players and the standout guys over on mkcat. But if you're saying that they're going to have some tough battles, in terms of the French scouts, that could be interesting to see, especially on a map like Product. I mean, Process as well, it's very scout heavy, so maybe we'll be seeing a big impact from them on those maps. But what about Reckoner then? That is, to me, that seems like an odd choice for a decider map. What do you think about that one?
Not much, to be honest. I think Reckoner is still quite new to the map pool, so no one really knows how to play it really well, really properly. And I don't really know who is favored on this map. I would say mkcat, because they might have better soldiers, and they remind me a bit of how we played with top 5. We were a really soldier heavy team with double bombs and stuff like that, and from the games we've played against mkcat, I think that's a bit how they work, with Callum and Lancer bombing in sometimes and landing big rockets. So I think if it comes to Reckoner, it favors the mkcat.
Well, I've just had an interesting call whispered into my ears of Fistfight Live in 90. So I'm not sure what that one's about, but we will be seeing a heavy fistfight, apparently. Do you know what that's to decide, Mr. Production Man? All right, the sides of the teams. Okay, so they can't decide which color they want to be in this role-playing video game right now. How exciting!
So there's not much difference between the 2 sides. I think it's pretty much down to your soldiers. If they want to do a double bomb on mid, maybe it's easier to be on the blue side, on the right side, because you can double bomb on the wall on the right side of mid, whereas it's a bit harder to do a double bomb from the left. But other than that, I don't see any differences.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I would say that you've got to be fairly comfortable no matter which side you have. But there we go. This is what's happening. So I guess we're going to have this to cast right now, the heavy fist fight. I'm not sure who's going to be actually partaking in the fisting action, but we will see. Okay, this is an exciting one.
That's what we're casting for.
Yeah.
The only reason we're here.
This is it. This is the hype. This is what it's all about. mkcat v Frenchies in the heavy fight.
So how do you think we'll carry this heavy fist fight?
Well, I have to say the melee DM from Tomasz right now. Look at that. Oh no, never mind. Lanza, he's top scoring. It's got to be him. Him v Raf. I think it definitely goes to the Frenchies. They're going to be way better. No, I don't know.
Well, that's a bold move. That's a bold move.
We are going live now on our first map. This is no. Okay. Is it a whole team thing? I thought it was just going to be one player, like a 1v1.
It's a 6 vs 6 people.
Oh, there we go. They are rolling out to mid. No, what's going on? The server has died. No, the last minute. Oh dear.
Okay, I'm taking my bet now. mkcat won.
Yeah, I mean,
we can't see, but I feel it.
Maybe it's just it's hidden behind closed doors right now. They're not letting the public see this this fight. No, I don't know. Oh well, shall we find something intellectual to talk about in the meantime?
So Product is a map known for the sniper issues teams can have. While 3.5 stars can have Blade on Sniper, he has the abilities to hit headshots. I don't really know who on the mkcat side can play sniper. Maybe Tomasz, but I'm not really sure about it.
Yeah, it's Thomas. He really likes to pick up that sniper. I was just watching a brief glimpse of his stream a little bit earlier today, and I have to say some of the medic drop headshots he got were very, very PogChamp indeed. So hopefully we'll see something like that. I think, yeah, you know, Blade is a very, very strong sniper, but Thomas as well, definitely somewhat of an upcoming player. Be interesting to... Oh, it's just being whispered into my ear again right now. The Frenchies won the fist fight, apparently.
Oh,
I think we missed that right now. Oh, I feel very sad.
Is that a sign?
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Who knows? But that means the Frenchies will be on their favorite side for product. There we go. Looks like the vote of you guys in chat right now. You think mkcat's going to win? Interesting. I think this really is going to be an even game. I mean, both of these teams, they're definitely on a strong footing. mkcat on the 1st seed for this for these playoffs, and 3.5 on the 5th seed. But to be honest, you know, I reckon it will be definitely a close showing. And I mean, the polls are showing that 57 to 43. So there we go. All right, we have 12 on the server right now, Ombrack. Maybe we will be starting shortly, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Looks like they're playing with Martin on medic for the first map. I don't know how much that could hinder them. Like, I know Martin is a pretty good medic from Warhuria's teachings, but I don't know how well he can fit in that team if he ever played with them before, and how much that could be a liability to mkcat.
I'm checking right now. I don't think... No, he's not on the roster, so he's not a sub. He is definitely murking for them. So I mean, you are right. Whether or not he will fit in is a good question. But you know, Martin, he's such a solid medic. His movement sometimes just beggars belief. I think, you know, he is definitely an incredibly strong player, and I don't feel like mkcat play in a way that it's going to be difficult for a new player to fit in. I feel like they play quite sensibly, quite smart, still quite aggressive. You know, so I think he will be. I think he's going to have an okay time in this game today. Nothing too, you know,
basically
difficult.
Get the heals on hems and win.
That's it. That's the strat. Yeah, heal your demo man and your scouts as well. Very important. All right, so it's come to that time then, Ombrack. Predictions. What do you think? Who do you think is going to take this first map?
Well, I've already been winning with the heavy fist fights, but I'm going to take a risk and say the Frenchies are going to take it in 2 maps.
Ooh, okay. What about the score?
Oh, 3-1 on product and 4-3 on process. Yeah.
So you think it's going to be a close one then? Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting prediction. I'm going to go, you know what? Definitely, totally 100% unbiased casting. I'm going for the complete opposite prediction. mkcat to take this in 2 maps. I think product, it's hard to say. I reckon it's going to be much closer on product than on the CP map. So I'm going product 3-2. Maybe you can see a really, really long game maybe. But 3-2 to mkcat. And then I guess we'll have to see. We'll wait and see for the other maps. I'm going to leave that one a bit of a secret for now. Surprise for later. All right, well, we will be going live very shortly. I heard 90 seconds a number of seconds ago. So in fact, there we go. There is the countdown. We are going very live. Very live? We're going live very shortly on this map. CP, not CP. Okay, I'm just talking complete nonsense now. I'm going to leave this mid over to you, Ombrack.
So let's go with Eames, the carry of mkcat. He's going to the left side, having some stickies over Alien, which doesn't quite hit. And the double bomb from the Frenchie coming in. Eames gets down really easily. But then Lancer is jumping back and gets sound. It's really good. Now Martin just has to survive, and actually he does it. Well covered by his scouts. And the Frenchies take the mid, but they lost their medic, so it's going to be interesting to see how they hold point now.
Yeah, they did. That was great stuff from Martin and Adelos there. They managed to just get out in time without losing that crucial medic player.
We can see that they delayed cap time, so they got the spawners at the same time that the mkcat. That's heavy gameplay.
Yeah, it's a good strat to do. It can just buy you a little bit of a player advantage, but I don't think that's going to be meaning a lot because Martin right now, he has that 100% Uber to work with. They're going to be looking to cap this point up if they possibly can, but right now both soldiers from the Frenchies are jumping forward. Raf goes in so deep that actually they're both cleaned up, and they're just eating these sacking players right now. Martin hardly taking any damage at all, and he just evaded that sack wave really nicely. Sands did live, but you know, Martin didn't have to pop off his Uber at all. So mkcat will cap up that midpoint, and it looks like they're trying to do a forward hold right now on Ombrack.
Yeah, with both of us on the right side, it looks like Rat tried to force it, doesn't work yet. The Frenchies are committing right now. It looks like they want to force the Uber without using theirs. It's going quite good. They got 2 picks, but they're kind of in the choke point and they have to use now. The Uber are exchanged, and the frags are going in Frenchie's favor because they have faster spawners.
Yeah, they do. If you've got that point capped up, it's worth remembering you are going to be spawning a lot slower. And actually just dragging that Uber exchange out there worked so much better for the Frenchies. Look at that duel. Picks up 3 frags. Eames, Aedalos and Callum all fall to that. He's going forward as well. He's looking for more. He's so weak. Panzer will eventually clean him up, but the point is just been capped up by 3.5 stars during all that. And respawners only now coming in from mkcat. Yeah, great.
You got tricked by Blade nickname. His name Pyra. So you.
Oh, is that
but it's
Blade?
no Duel.
Ah, he's confusing me.
Be aware, this is Blade, and he's gonna carry them.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I suppose both are strong scouts, but of course, that is Blade, as you say. But right now, Sands has the Uber, and it will be popped off. A lot of damage onto the soldiers of mkcat. Actually, a great rocket there from Olga will clean up Callum. So Martin did escape. He will have his Uber to repush with shortly. But with the point being held by the Frenchies right now, they've just got to buy as much time as they possibly can. Try and get this force out off of Martin without losing too many players, and maybe, just maybe, it'll work out you know, well for them.
I think it looks like the Frenchies just want to give up the point without giving more frag. Alien is a bit forward, but I think it's just going to come back. And it's really good from mkcat. It looks like they're going to have the point without even using the Uber. Martin barely touched once again. You were right, he has good positions, good movements, and that's another 3 points, 3 mid for the mkcat team.
I have to say, I just noticed something there. Raf, he jumped in from cliff. He dived onto the point, but he just died immediately. I don't know, maybe that one didn't quite make any sense to me. He just he jumped forward, but his team wasn't quite with him. But right now, the Uber, actually, Sands and Olga, they've popped theirs off to get onto this point a lot earlier. And Martin, he's going to have so much of a better Uber with 1 frag down for them already. Make that 2. Look at that Olga. He's just on that China right now. He's pulling Aedalos and Eames back, but he's so weak. He should be cleaned up quite shortly. But there we go. And the frags, they are just going both ways. It's a bit of an even fight right now. But the Frenchies, they do get the worst end of that. The distraction plays from their soldiers not quite working out as they intended. We do see a pause coming in right now.
Who would have guessed?
Aedalos appears to be AFK. Oh dear, does he realise he's got games to play?
A pause on stream? That never happened before. I don't understand. On a more serious note, Frenchies are making quite a big mistake so far, as in they're not playing around their scouts at all. They both, 2 Ubers were used from Sounds, and it was like only mono Uber on Olga. No scouts were with the medic at no time, and you don't want to get no scouts in your urban product, even more when you want to get the meds. And I think that's their mistake so far, because I think Aedalos has been playing his pocket scout role pretty well so far, never leaving Martin too far away. So the Frenchies need to fix that really fast if they want to get back on this map.
Yeah, you could kind of see that not working out for them. Olga, he was just having a hard time putting in the damage, and you can either do damage or you can clean up frags. You can't really do both. And he was failing at that one a little bit, but look at this, the aggression now from the Frenchies. It's coming all the way forward. mkcat just backing out. They respect that Uber advantage from Sands. The point will be capped up, but look at that. It's not Duel, is it? Who is it? It's Blade. There we go.
Blade.
My brain is just getting a bit fried by that name. He was all the way forward there. He will get cleaned up in the end. So the Frenchies do recap this point. mkcat a little bit of a lead in the time department, so you know, they've got a bit of a buffer zone, a bit of comfort to work with, but they need to get something done now, and here it comes, the Uber from Eames. It's coming all the way forward. They managed to force out Olga and Sands, and it's now just up to Eames to spread that damage around, see what they can get, but it really hasn't worked out for them as Lanza and Eames will be falling. Callum just attempting to get onto Sands there. Sands was so weak, but he won't be falling. So with all the frags just going the way of the Frenchies, this is looking tough for mkcat. They've got perhaps one more attempt, but they're going to need to make it count if they want to take this first round.
Yeah, they want to try to push really quickly, try to get some time off the point. Looks like they're going to do it from the China area, the cliff area. Eames is leading the charge. He got Sands on the trap, maybe I didn't quite get it, but he got the medic. And he gets Olga with the help of Adolos. That should be an easy cap for mkcat. And now this is going to be interesting because the Frenchies have only 12 seconds left on the mid to win the round, but they have a huge Uber disadvantage, so it's going to be interesting. Will they bomb first, try to force Martin, or will they commit all of their bodies? We'll see how they play it.
I'm not sure if they've got time for a sack wave, possibly. I think they are just going to have to do this, but it's going to be tough. Martin is up on his Uber, and he's not the sort of person that will pop it off for nothing. Actually, Raf with a nice bomb, he will force that Uber out. But now it's up to mkcat. They've just got to, all they've got to do is hold this point for 10 seconds, keep the Frenchies away. Look at this, not Duel, aka Blade. He will be a bit fuffled on that point. Look at that surf there from Sands. He's just dodging around, he's giving the heals into his team, but it's not going to amount to anything. As Alien, he will be bombing onto these points, the final sacking players there, just going for a last ditch attempt. But they will not be successful. mkcat, they do take the first round off the back of that huge play from Eames, taking out those heals and giving themselves a big Uber for that round. Great stuff.
And it's another round coming. Still no sniper on either side. One should be coming really soon, I think. So let's see how they play it. It looks like Rat is gonna bomb in. Yeah, he's doing it with Olga. The bombing on point, jumping back, that's a bit weird. And the counter jumping is coming from mkcat, completely annihilating the attempt of Olga and Rat. Rat is going in, tried to go for the med but got denied. And, well, that was disastrous from the Frenchies. Really, really disastrous.
It was disastrous, but maybe not as bad as it could have been. Sands, he did just manage to slither away, so he's at a slight disadvantage, but it's not as big as it could have been if he died. But no, I really like that mid from mkcat, actually. The way they played that is they kind of waited for that initial aggression to come in, they dealt with that, and then they just went so far forward with their soldiers, bought so much space. They did manage to clean up all those frags in the end, so that was really nice from them. But Sam's on about 90% now, just building this last little bit up. I think they're maybe going to try and go for something shortly, just playing around this main right now. And here they come, they are coming forward onto this point. The Uber is now popped off, Olga just flying forward, and Martin and Eames, they will reply with their own. But the camp is just not quite being played. Nicholas will fall, that is now traded for Zebib. God knows who he is. But look at this scout as well, Blade, he's so far forward, he picks off Eames, that's a really nice pick. So it's not going to be much damage from mkcat, as actually the point will eventually be capped up by those Frenchies. Lanza looks like he's in a bit of trouble. I think he will be escaping though.
This is getting a bit messy. We can see how product is the DM heavy map where the Risen can never slow down. It just happened here. And we can see how important Olga is to the way the Frenchies play. Maybe they rely a bit too much on him, and maybe that's their mistake so far. But it's not, the difference are really tiny so far, and maybe the French, I think Raph needs to be a little more patient in his bombs in order to be more efficient. And
yeah,
as I say that, he double bomb.
Yeah, well, Sands went down. How did that happen? I wasn't quite paying attention. Oh dear, that's my problem. But look at this. The sacking players, they just tried to get onto Martin, but he said absolutely no, thank you. Just playing those positions perfectly. Did you spot that out? How did Sands fall? I was just tabbed out checking a player for a moment.
I figured it was from a sticky trap, because usually when a medic dies to a demo, it's a sticky trap. That wasn't checked, but I'm not sure. But that's just... Okay, so...
There's a trap on China and he walked in front of house badly, so yeah, my bad. Big apologies for not catching that one. But now the aggression from the Frenchies, it's coming all the way forward. Martin is going to be popping off his Uber, but he's not quite in such a great position as Raf is behind right now. He's taking a 1v1 with Lanza, but Callum will arrive just in time to help him out, securing that frag. And that was a successful sack wave from the Frenchies. They managed to get the Uber out of Martin, and actually now look at this, Sands on 80%, going to be looking to push in quite shortly.
But they can't fail now, because you look at the time of the point from mkcat, the Frenchies can't afford to waste this push. They're trying to commit from cliffside. Sands is still on top, he doesn't want to go. They have to go now with maybe a demo and a scout in the Uber, but they're just playing point without using. That's quite smart. They have to use eventually. It's not really a good Uber, because it's like a defensive Uber when you have to use not to die. It's quite well salvaged by the soldiers, getting 2 frags, maybe 3, yeah, and 4 frags. Raf got Martin somehow. I think he just chased them on last and got the medic. So poor play was just salvaged into a really good push by Raf. Well played for him.
Yeah, that's so unlucky. Raf with the heads up. He managed to pick off Martin because he wasn't killed in the main part of that Uber. Yeah, absolutely a big heads up play from him to get that frag. So what was looking like an easy repush for mkcat is now looking difficult. But I think they are going for it anyway. Lanza and Callum, they're jumping so far forward, but look at the amount of space they bought them. They're just playing the DM on this point now, and actually the scouts from the Frenchies are so weak, they will both eventually fall. And it's just complete carnage.
Wow.
The sheer aggression from mkcat, that is unbelievable there. What a fantastic repush from them.
That was really impressive. I think they just put to good use the fact that their spawners spawned before the Frenchies won, and just came on the number advantage, and that was really, really well played for them. And that's 2-0 now.
I mean, yeah, in a way, if that didn't work out for them, they've got so many more attempts. They had such an advantage in the time that they could just afford to keep going for, you know, dry pushes like that when neither medic has the Uber, and eventually one of them will work out and they'll win the round. But, you know, the first one worked out, so what can you do? Alright, well, mid-fight number 3 is getting underway. This is looking strong for mkcat right now. Can they keep this up? The soldiers from them will be jumping forward and straight onto Sands. Callum with a nice rocket takes him down. So there's absolutely no heals for the Frenchies. They've just got to try and get onto Martin here if they don't want to lose catastrophically. But I think Zebib, Mr. Fafa, he will be cleaned up in the end. A complete wipe for them. What do you think of that, Ombrack?
What a mid. Like, Alien got damaged a lot on the start of the mid by Eames, so he couldn't walk forward and try to pressure the red team. So maybe Raf called to play passive because the aggressive playstyle didn't work out, and they got completely punished by the aggression of Callum and Lanza.
Yeah, well, this is a bit of a push coming in from the Frenchies, actually. A nice bomb from Raf took Martin way out of position, so he couldn't heal his team. They're just stuck in between those French players, and they've turned the frags for that. They've got 3 for themselves and a point cap off the back of that. So I think mkcat, they attempted to start a forward hold, but it really did not work out for them, as a nice bomb from Raf will just counter that one. But Martin is up on his Uber now, and he will be popping it off, trying to just recontest this point. Sands and Alien, they've just got to back out of here if they can. Eventually Sands will just about get his Uber in time. It's coming forward now as 2 frags down for the side of mkcat. It's not looking good for them.
Yeah, I feel like the Frenchies scout have finally stepped up, and like I called them to be the better scout pair, and finally lived up to that expectation. But why I say that Lanza just get a frag on Olga, and even though Eames is down, it looks like mkcat want to repush this mid, and they are right to do so because the Frenchies are already far back on the cliff side. And that's a free cap for mkcat.
That was really nice from mkcat, actually. What they did is they realised that they had those faster respawners, and those overextending players on their cliff. Basically, they cleaned them up. They traded those frags, but they knew that they would get the spawners in quicker to win the overall fight, and they did, and they managed to recap the point off that. So that's really quite smart play from them. I like that a lot. Great stuff.
And now the Ubers are even again. Sands already so weak, even though he hasn't committed to mid yet. Uber he used, but again it's a really defensive Uber. What you can't do much with it. And Martin replies with his own Uber. Callum goes for Alien and puts him out of the fight. And it looks like Fafa and Raf are behind, trying to make some plays happening. But
yeah, they will eventually be cleaned up, but they made a lot of a distraction and actually managed to take down Lanza on the flank. So that did, that very nearly worked out well for them, but just not quite in the end. They didn't quite manage to convert anymore, and the rest of their team couldn't really follow up, because they had quite a few players down. So, relatively even Ubers right now. Martin on a slight advantage, so they can just play those passive positions, try and bait out these soldier bombs from the Frenchies as they come forward now. Look at this, Olga's going behind. Can he make anything of that? But look at the space that the Frenchies have. They're 2 players down right now, but they've just completely dominated this midpoint. As Callum will fall, and I think they will be just capping this up successfully off of the back of that aggressive jump.
Okay, they just capped it, but Alien overextended, get picks, and you don't want to lose your demo right now, because it's going to be an easy fight for mkcat if he decides to push. Looks like they're doing it. Olga getting airshot by Eames, and sounds Ubers no one.
Yeah.
Blade is in now, but he has to go back since disconnecting from his scout, but he's not punished for it. Oh, look at this aggression from Callum and Lancer, just dropping the rockets onto Blade and Sans. Sans can escape, but now it's starting to smell really fishy for the Frenchies.
Yeah, mkcat seem to be able to do this really well, where they just play in this death ball and pick off a couple of straggling players in a position, which they did really well on that right side. Just managed to clean them up, so I like that from them. But right now, the time, there's 30 seconds left on this round for mkcat, so it's up to the Frenchies now to make something happen. Olga and Lanza having a bit of a 1v1 on the flank. They're dancing around. Olga will actually win that one in the end. That's a nice pick from them, as the Ubers are very, very nearly up from both of these teams. Yeah, respawners will be slightly better for the Frenchies, and you can see that right now as they have this slight player advantage. The Uber is popped out from both of them right now, but the time, it's so low. They need to get this cap in the overtime, the Frenchies. Otherwise it's going to be starting to look very difficult for them. Callum now jumping forward, but he gets absolutely denied, and Lanza is in as well. He does good damage to Sans. He's on about 50 HP. But Lanza will be cleaned up, and that is a successful recap from the Frenchies. They managed to take that one just in the nick of time.
They want to do a forward ball, which is pretty smart, because you don't want to give room to mkcat, but it's a bit late because mkcat is already on the cliff side. All they have to do to win is cap this cap point, and I think they're just going to push. They should start to push the cap right now.
Yeah, Callum and Lanza both managed to get a pick before the push even starts. It was just looking dreadful for the Frenchies. It's just Sans. The Frenchies, they just completely dissolve there. mkcat just almost walking all over them. There we go. 3-0 this first map. It looks like, I mean, neither of our predictions were quite on there. I was predicting a close game, but really, I have to say that was quite dominant from mkcat. What do you think, Ombrack?
I think I was completely wrong about the scouts. Adios and Tomo seem to have a stellar game. Both of them well played, and Fafa kind of struggled. But I think it more down to lack of team cohesion. Like the Frenchies overextended a bit too much during all the game. Well, all you want to do in this game is just, in this map, is cap mid. You won't have the position of the middle, so you can get your grasp on the mid on the map and just play hit however you want it. But every time they tried to push, they just walked over points and tried to get aggro on the combo without capping points, and maybe that's where they lost this map.
Yeah, I think mkcat's point play was definitely a lot better. They were going for the sort of the plays. Oh, excuse me, the plays and the pushes where, you know, they could get the point without losing their advantage, losing their players, all that sort of thing. You know, they were playing the advantageous respawners as well, so you know, some top level stuff that they were really executing very, very well against those Frenchies there. But right now we do have some logs to have a gander. Look at that, Aidalos and Thomas absolutely dominant. They died 5 times, Ombrack. What is that? That's just nuts.
A successful product scout map.
My God, that is just that
Look
is insane.
Look at this KD, 6.6 for Aidalos, 5.8 for Thomas. So I think we know why mkcat won this map.
I think we do. Blimey, that is just that is destruction. If I saw it, I mean, look at the KDs from the French players. Alien, 3 for 14. Come on, Demo Man on this map is so strong. Oh, so much damage you can do. Only 262 DPM. I think that is rough indeed. Yeah, you gotta be seriously thinking about that one. Blimey, those scouts though. That's just I can't get my head around that. Destruction.
And yeah, Raf as well having a rough game, and Olga, like the whole heavy classes from the Frenchies having a rough game. Olga going 8 for 17, and Raf 7. Raf, it's understandable because he's playing Roamer. It's really hard to play Roamer on this map, even though I think he played it really too aggressive and not synced with his team. So maybe that's one of the things you want to work on. But yeah, like that was really impressive from mkcat. Just they show their dominance. They just shown us why they were the first seed on high this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned Raf there briefly. Like they were playing quite aggressively with their soldiers, the Frenchies. You know, all the time, just sort of jumping them in. Raf would often be the one to initiate, and he did manage to have a few successful plays, but really that was you know, in amongst just those slight disconnects from the rest of the team, which means that, you know, despite the space you make, that your players are going to be sort of cleaned up by those scouts before you can really even do anything. So that's a bit of a shame. Just like to point out quickly, Martin died one time, once. I mean,
on product,
that is so huge, because you've just got those heals all the time, and you know, and that is just at the end of the day just so decisive. You know, if your medic is dying one time and you've got that huge DM advantage, then you know that tends to explain these 3-0s.
Yeah, and when we see the heals, you see that Alien got most of the heals on the French's side, but he did nothing with them, absolutely nothing. So that's poorly invested heals from Sans, but there's not much you can do about it. I'm a bit sad to see that both Blade and Fafa got less heals than Olga, because again, product is a really scout heavy map, and it's not surprising to see at least one scout, if not both of them, above your soldiers in terms of healings. So I don't know if they haven't worked the map properly, if it's just a day off or what, but that's just they completely missed their map.
I mean, look at this from the side of mkcat as well. The heal distribution almost exactly the same, you know, almost to the number. Callum, the pocket soldiers, is taking slightly more heals than both of his scouts, but you know,
yeah,
that was obviously just working out better for them.
Imps delivered damage while Alien did it, and when you see that your demo doesn't do anything, you have to react and do something else, and it doesn't look like the Frenchies tried to do something else, while mkcat just were on the roll all map. Their soldier bombs were insanely useful, and then the scouts only had to clean up, and I think it just goes down to how mkcat could adapt their playstyle. Like they started their first mid, I think they just do a double bombing soldiers. It worked out, and then they try to be patient and wait for Raf, because they maybe saw that Raf was going deep really often, and maybe that just a better read on the situation than the Frenchies.
Yeah,
but yeah, they just dominated this map anyway.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think Eames as a main caller is definitely very adaptive. You know, he learns quickly. They have lots of different things, lots of different strategies that they can use. You know, as you're saying, you know, so yeah, that adaptation is a big part of it. But I've just noticed, look at this as well: 83 kills for the red team, mkcat, and 49 the side of the Frenchies. So yeah, I mean that's just backing up that dominant DM. We know that, we've seen that already. So how about some thoughts then for map number 2, which I believe will be CP Process.
So it's still a scout heavy map, but maybe it will be easier for the Frenchies because it relies less on DM than on actual strategies. And when you look at the teams on paper, maybe mkcat has a better DM. So maybe that will work out better for them on this map. But when you go down 3-0 on products, you really have to be strong in your head to stay in the game and not give up already, because that's just one map. And
yeah,
you never know what could happen on the second map, so you have to stay in the game and just try to figure out solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I've been thinking about is that we really didn't see any snipers at all on Product, which is a little bit unusual. But I think Process as well is a map that we can see a lot of good sniper plays on. Quite an open map. There's lots of long sight lines that you can use as a sniper. So what do you think about the the potential Blade Thomas sniper matchup? Do you think we're going to be seeing any of that in Process?
I think so. Like the fact that we didn't see any snipers from the Frenchies, even though they were behind all maps, just highlights once again the fact that they didn't adapt enough. And I'm pretty sure, like, knowing Blade, I think he's a bit pissed of how the game went, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna try to do, like, if the game is getting stalematey or the Frenchies are behind, they will want to try something new, and they will have to.
Yeah, well, bear with me right now, because I have completely forgotten to load up the new map, so I'm just loading into this right now. What's going on right now? What's the situation?
I'm connecting to server, because I didn't notice that they changed server for some reasons.
Me neither. Oh dear, we've already had a mid. Oh no, I'm so sorry, stream. I'm very, very sorry. But there we go, mkcat, they won that one. Lanza just tried to go in at the end of that to potentially sack onto Sands, but he was unsuccessful. So, right, okay. Heads in the game now, let's go.
I'm still loading.
You're still loading. Okay, I will, I'm lagging extremely hard and all manner of things are going wrong, but never mind, we can push through. So, we have seen, or rather not seen, a mid-fight so far. mkcat have been victorious, but the Ubers are even right now. So we're seeing a stalemate on second. I think Thomas right now just playing those off classes, checking if the Frenchies are running any of their own. I think, yeah, he will be switching to the sniper. That is definitely his go-to in these sorts of situations. And with no Blade to talk about in terms of a counter sniper, he might be having a good chance of getting a good shot onto Sands right now, if Sands is not careful with his positioning. He's just peeking into this choke right now. He may, spot off Olga. Any picks will do at this point. But how's the loading going? Are you with us?
I'm there.
All right, cool, good stuff.
Okay, Sands has the good positioning considering there's a sniper. So just now the Frenchies have to be aware. When there's a sniper, you want to be aware of his positions all the time. And it's going to be really, really hard for the Frenchies if they lose the first round, because they're already one map behind and you don't want to be behind on the second map. And if it goes too late, I know Blade likes to go back to spawn and take sniper. So if the stalemate just goes forever, and Papa dies on a nice body shot from Thomas. So will this unlock the situation? Maybe not, because it's only a scout pick and it's not really enough to push on process second.
I mean, the health right then from mkcat was a little bit poor, and Olga looking to capitalise off of that. He goes all the way into sewers, picks off Thomas and the scouts as well right now. This is huge, Raph! Yeah, he just he goes in, he manages to use that distraction right then, and he will pick off Martin. Oh no, this is huge for the Frenchies right now. That full Uber advantage they've got to use. I wonder how mkcat are going to respond to that. I think Thomas has picked up that sniper. He's going to be looking for either a drop or an early force as the Frenchies come into second. He's just holding out in this rollout right now with the rest of his team. They don't want to give up any players at all if they can possibly help it. They do not want to get rolled to last with this.
The Frenchies are expecting the sniper. They went from PC, but Callum on his own managed to force Sands with a splash rocket. That's not really good. Like, it's really well played from Callum. He just saved his round for his team, but like the Frenchies has such good reaction. Going for PC is where you want to go when there's a sniper, but you can't get forced by one soldier who doesn't even know where the medic is. So that's a bit poor, and now they want to hold on their choke and see if mkcat will push out. I don't think they will push out, because it's only like 25 minutes left. Oh, they're trying actually, so bear with me, I'm talking nonsense.
Yeah, they tried to go for that one there, but the stickies, Eames just didn't quite notice those. Alien Smiley will pick off that demo man, so that's, if you lose your demo that early on into a push, that is an immediate no. You're just going to be cancelling that one, backing all the way out. But it looks like the Frenchies, they actually want to capitalise off of this. Raf is jumping forward now, making some space for his team. Aedalos will pick him off, but no, the Frenchies, they've just decided they're going to go for that sack, make a little bit of space for him.
That was a smart play. They knew the Eames was dead, so maybe one wasn't covered, so Sans just tanked Raf with heals and allowed him to jump on Martin. And that's, for once, it's a good reaction. That's the way you want to play the game, and it looks like maybe the Frenchies just forgot a product and are now in a completely different game.
Yep, they almost baited me there, because I think it's sort of a bait push strategy, isn't it? Where you kind of, it looks like you want to push in, but actually you just build that space there for your sacking soldier.
Blade is on sniper now. It's gonna be a duel versus Thomas.
Yeah, it will be. Thomas, he was peeking to that rollout for a while, but is now rotated into the lobby. It looks like these snipers are going to meet, and Thomas, he will get the better end of that. He does manage to pick off Blade. Not Pyra, it is in fact Blade. This has managed to confuse me every time. I will someday learn, I promise you. Oh, we had a nice little shot onto Sans there. He just about missed it.
The Lanza forces Sans again. That can't happen. If the Frenchies want to come back in this game, they can't let this happen. But because you have to expect the counter sack from the soldier, you have to expect him to coming from lobby. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there are so many things, especially when you got that threat of the sniper. You know, there's a lot of different threats to your own life. But here we go, the Uber actually is coming in now from mkcat. This is very aggressive stuff. Hallam and Eames just taking this forward.
Just getting the back cap.
Yeah,
he has a duel to win and he gets it. Nice play from Fafa.
That's tough. When you go for that sort of commitment there, when you're all pushing out, you've got to just make absolutely sure that you either cap up the second point early, or you absolutely lock off all the entrances, and they must have just missed something, because Fafa did manage to get behind. So it's a risk versus reward situation, but it was nice to see them go for it anyway. But here we go. Ombrack, why don't you take us through this mid-fight right now?
On the Raf right now, see how you want to take the roaming soldier, but it doesn't. Fafa dies really early to a rocket from Lanza, and it looks like the mkcat taking the Frenchies side, and it's getting a bit rough for the Frenchies. Blades die, Raf dies already, and it looks like Lanza and Callum are going forward trying to get for the medic. No, they're not. They're just going to secure the second point, and that was once again really clean from mkcat. The way they play, even though they got backed up like 1 minute ago, it's really clean.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Olga, he jumped into the left side of the team, but again, his support just wasn't quite there, and you're already 3 down at that point after you lose that life. But they did manage to just back all the way out. Sans does have his Uber. We did see Lanza there go for a bit of a sack, so this is the reply now from Raf. He's jumping onto the point. Nice pipe from Eames will eventually clean him up. So there we go. A bit of a sacking soldier exchange. Nothing really coming out of that right now. You
can see the sentry getting up for Fafa. Well, Filmash is on sniper once again. I hope the Frenchies are expecting that, because it's quite obvious. And with the sentry up, you can guess that the Frenchies are quite happy with staying on their last and just staying here forever, trying just to bait the push, possibly clean it up and then repush.
I mean, that's a perfectly sound way of playing. You know, it's the tried and tested, just low risk, don't want to make any mistakes. So really, it's up to Thomas and his team right now to make some openings. He's playing this sniper. It's a nice little click onto Raf there on those toxic barrels. But meanwhile, the crucial pick has come in. Callum manages to pick up the dispenser. So we will be seeing a wipe very, very shortly. No, I'm of course joking. But yeah. So
the way, it's kind of hard the way the Frenchies are holding this last point. I feel maybe one overall out is quite a bit open, but I see Alien as sticky, so maybe not. So it's going to be interesting. Will the soldiers sack to make room for the sniper, or just try to wait? Because it's going to be really hard to push.
to me right now, it looks like the Frenchies are leaving this left side quite open, and Thomas is just having all the time in the world to peek in. Sans has taken a bit of a spam from Eames as well, so I'd like to see mkcat go for a little soldier jump around this corner right now, because I think they might have a good chance of forcing Sans off, if not dropping him. But I think that's all going to come to nothing, as Thomas will be picked off, and Eames, yeah.
Really nice play from Raph. Maybe now they're going to try to push out, even though they have a sentry allowed, so maybe no back cap. Sans is trying to go lower. The Uber are traded, and I think it's a bit better for mkcat, even though Lanza falls down now. It's going to be a lobby fight. You don't want to get caught in the lobby, and the Frenchies know that, and you just come back. That was worth it. Like, you get the demo, it's okay to try to push out, and they realized soon enough that it was a bad fight for them and that to fall back.
Yeah.
So, it was good, like from both teams. I think no mistake was made this time, and it's just another reset.
Yeah, definitely. You don't really want to lose your medic there for either team in either situation, because then that can just be a bit of a bigger opening for later on that you don't really want to give the other team. But if you're trying to push out of last, it's tricky when you've got this NG, because you're essentially down a player, you're down a fragging class. So it was a nice try for them to go on those 2 picks, but it didn't quite work out in the end. So we are back to this stalemate situation. Actually, Lanza, he will fall to a nice little sticky trap from Alien. So what do you think they should do now on the side of the Frenchies? If you were them, what would you be doing?
Nothing, I would just wait. Like, you can't push out of a roamer pick. And it's so hard, it's really not rewarding to push on TF2, especially when the Ubers are even. And I think it's a good play to stay on last and just wait. I don't really like the way they hold, because I'd rather have my demo close to the lobby door and Olga on the right side, but maybe that's just personal preferences. And you can see that Lancer is on Spy, and if he can get Sans through the dispenser as a sentry, I'm calling genius.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double Spy right now. This is... oh, come on. How can my brain be fried by this every time? It's not dual. It's... oh, Blade. There we go, Blade. I totally 100% knew that.
He was just checking, I think. And now the Frenchies must know that Lancer's on Spy. So yeah. He's not allowed. He can't get any stab now.
He's just sneaking around on his left side right now. He's getting all the info for his team. They're going to know exactly where Sans is hiding. They're going to know where the sentry gun is. They're going to know all this stuff. Double teleporter on point, actually. That's an interesting little strat. I think Blade's just trying to farm some points right now for his NG by teleporting. It's an amazing new strategy, but mkcat right now, they're just poking into this right side. They've got to go for some sort of distraction play at some point so that Lanza can get a stab right now. But here we go, he's decloaked, he's going for it. He can see Sans is back, but actually he decides to go for Olga. Bit of a trade. He will be killed by the sentry in the end. But that did not work out as well as it possibly could for them.
Once again, I don't think that's enough. Looks like Callum wanted force on the right side, but Raph is looking at it carefully. In the Ubers are exchanged. Callum leads the Uber on Sans. Will he get the sentry? I don't think so, because Sans cleverly just steps in front of the sentry, so the sentry steps up. And it's another reset, rejoy chat.
Yeah, well, it was again a low-risk attempt for them. You know, you can take that exchange.
There's a conk pop him on mkcat. They want to force the right side. That's a clever play. Looks like Alien is in trouble. Both pockets fell down. Thomas and Adol sat down. No scouts for mkcat. You want to repush right now, even though you don't have your soldiers. There's a room for it, and you have to take it.
Yeah, there's a fairly low chance of a back cap right now, especially with that sentry, and no scouts alive for mkcat. So Lanza's a little bit caught in that one area. He did try to go for some sort of sneaky play, possible back cap attempt, but he will be caught out in the end. And Eames, look at this. He's taking this aggression forward with his team. He does manage to pick off that scout there. So with that, I think actually the Frenchies will be backing out of that one. Not quite able to convert those that huge player advantage they managed to get themselves.
Yay, we're on last. Once again with the
Oh,
sentry.
come on, that is not the attitude to have. We must,
Oh, the sentry falls down actually to Eames. Maybe that could open things up for mkcat. We can see Thomas trying to force on the right side, but it looks like he's not going in finally. And Lenzer falls down. Like, it's only useless trade so far. You can't go on any picks there.
Yeah, I mean, the sentry will just be built up, so it's nice to get that defensive capability out of the way, but it only really means something if you can actually use that in your push and use that, not necessarily pick, but it's worth getting the sentry out of the way early. That can always, aid your last push. But if you're not really going for a push, then, look at this. It's already level 3, so that is not going to mean an awful lot.
Here's the strat. Callum has the banner. You want to load your banner, use it on the right side to force Raph out of the way, and then Thomas follows and just drops sands. That's how you win last.
Oh, yeah, maybe they're trying to go through that from the one door right now. Thomas, he is peeking in. He just misses his shot onto Alien right there. Look at that surf. Great stuff. He surfs all the way out. But he's just peeking around, trying to get these picks. Nice headshot onto Olga. Not going to amount to anything, though. And he will just be spammed out of this lobby and actually taken down. Okay, this is really starting to annoy me now. Blade, he will trade for that one. Okay, I really need to put a sticky note on my monitor or something so I can remember that.
It looks like, yeah, mkcat is forcing right once again from the right side. Callum uses his buff banner, I think, yeah, it's Batman's backup. Eames gets a sentry and Adelos is down on the other side, so it's kinda even. And mkcat is really deep in the Frenchies last without having to use the Uber. That's really good for them. Uber is used from the Frenchies. Ubers are trading now, and it's gonna be who gets the frags outside of the Uber. Eames gets down from Raph. That's a really nice play from the roamer. And even though Fafa dies now, it can be done. It can be repushed if they want to.
It is possible, but look at that Olga.
It's restless. They're pushing all the time.
Yeah, the thing is with that push is that you've got to realise that the Frenchies, they have those much better respawners, so much closer to where the fight's going on, and actually that means that they will be coming in for them in the end. Martin and Callum there, they went so deep. 2
frags, that's so good for them. Demo's down, there's only 45 seconds left, so even if you beef your last push, you have to take it now.
Yeah, looks like they're trying to go for this. Lanza, they're jumping in on the right side, but actually Callum and Thomas, they were in this left side. They do pop off the banner, and the point is being played now. There's no stickies on it. It's just this single scout on it right now, and it will be capped up. Look at that. 30 seconds until the round resets. After all of those failed attempts, after all of those tries, they finally managed to convert the push. Great stuff indeed.
Yeah, the Frenchies beefs kinda, because when there's 50 seconds left, you don't want to take a risky repush, you just want to sit on last. They did it really well so far, but I guess after all this time, your nerves get tested and you make mistake.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like Eames on this mid. He's opting for the right side again. And in fact, the rest of his team will just be jumping up. Raph gets completely denied. A great airshot there. Will take him out. Lanza going into that IT. He will be picked off, but the health and players, look at this. It's so much better for mkcat right now. And Callum, playing a little bit of Minecraft, will pickaxe down the scout of Zabib. Fafa.
Can Sans live?
Ooh, look at this. Eames is on him on last. Nice. And actually Sans with the 1v1. Takes down Eames. That is huge for him. Holding on to that 50% Uber that he had. There we go.
With our demo, you may want to try to get on Spire. You have to try. And they are going for it. The Frenchies are spamming out. Double bomb from Olga and Raph, just kicking out everybody out of the Spire. And the Uber is forced in an awful position for Martin. Can Sound escape? He can't. Thomas follows him with the pistol and gets the Belgian medic before he had the Uber. But 3 people are dead on mkcat, and Raph once again picks up Martin. And out of the scrappy fight, the Frenchies come out victorious.
Yeah, that was really nice from Thomas. He kind of realised after a bit of communication with his team that Martin, he wasn't in the best position in the world and probably, wasn't going to make it out of that fight alive. So he made sure to take down Sans. So in fact, the Ubers will be even, the medics spawning at just about the same time. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Frenchies, they started off that fight with that 2-player advantage after Eames sort of overextended there a little bit onto last, trying to get Sands. After that failed attempt, they managed to push it out, and actually they've taken this all the way back to mid. So in the end, they will be, you know, in control of this round. It's 1-1 right now with 10 minutes to go. So it's been much more close on this map than on Product. But again, with even Ubers, it's going to be up to the off classes now, the snipers. Tomasz has picked it up. He's looking for some heads to click.
So, even though the Frenchies are behind in terms of map, there's still time for them, so they shouldn't rush it, and they should play carefully. They're trying to go from sewers, maybe get a bait for Raph so he can jump from choke and force Martin. But it doesn't happen. Good spam from Callum and Eames, denying the entry of the Frenchies.
Tomasz now, he's got a lot of room in choke. He could potentially be getting a pick with this one. The Frenchies are just... oh, my camera's gone a bit bizarre there. There we go. The jump from Olga just into choke. Actually, Raph will go for a jump. He is taken down by the nice pipe of Eames. So this could signal an opportunity for mkcat to sack, actually. Look at this Lanza. He's kind of made his way into this IT. He could go for a sack now if he wanted to. Fairly low risk as well. I mean, Sands, look at that. He's just on the floor there by that rock. If mkcat can call that to him, he would have been able to go for something, but no, he will be picked off in the end by not Prior. So, it doesn't... I reckon they could have made something of that pick there, mkcat. But in the end, they don't quite manage to.
Uber used from the Frenchies. Sands has to use... I mean, Martin uses. Tomasz gets a frag on Fafa. That could be really intense, really important for mkcat, but looks like Blade is cleaning up, and Raph with another frag on kill him. That should be a free spire for the Frenchies, and if you're cocky enough, you have to push on last and try to get the rounds.
Yeah, they could do this right now. Raph is looking to work his way in through rollout. He's all the way into this secret area right now, just holding up top. Sticky's going onto the point for Eames, but a big bomb from Raph around the corner. Alien will help that one out and take down Tomasz. Callum falling as well. That's 3 players down from mkcat. And I think with the stickies blown, they will just be able to play the point here, and the defenders can't quite come in time.
Raph just gave his team a point. Like, when he was just pawn camped 3 people, like, that shouldn't happen, but somehow he just read the situation perfectly, maybe with the help of calls, and that was really nice play from the Roma.
Yeah, it was. He just managed to buy so much space, block those players out. Very, very nice stuff indeed. Okay, well, mid-fight number 4 now. A 2-1 is the score to the Frenchies. As mkcat, once again, they've opted for this right side, and Callum will be the first one to jump all the way behind into that choke. Olga is now replying. He's jumping around. Eames just slightly far forward there, away from his team. Will be taken down. The bomb from Lanza almost gets Sands there, but it will be unsuccessful. He lives on a tiny amount of HP, so all the while, all that was going on, Martin and Edelos did manage to just hightail it away. And they live to tell the tale. They have their Uber to defend, if not last, then possibly second. I feel like mkcat, they're the sort of team that might want to put up a fight on second. But who knows? There's a lot of caps on already.
They shouldn't go, and they read it quite well enough, and they don't go. I think that's the first mid one by Pyra Gaming or the Frenchies in a long time. So that's good for them, that's good for their spirits. And now they're in control of the game, so there's 2 plays here. Either you just stall it forever, or you try to push on picks.
It looked like they were trying to do that there. They had the Olga pick. They did get picked off around about that rollout, and the mkcat, they tried to get a little bit aggressive, but realised that that wasn't going to work out for them. They just there was too much for them to deal with. So they will be making the smart choice, just backing off to last. They don't want to make any risks. Losing the 3rd round now would be it would be tricky to climb back. So mkcat, they are down that round. They really do need to just play it careful, make sure they can push out of last successfully in some point, and you know, potentially just they've got to get that momentum going, roll it all the way to the Frenchies last.
Looks like they kind of torn apart. Like Lanzer's on Spy for an aggressive play, and Tomasz is on Menji for a defensive play. But yeah, it's up to them now. I think the Frenchies are happy to just wait and see what's going to happen, what's going to come to them. I think it's a smart move if you want to win this map. That's how you have to play it, even though it's not really fancy or flashy, whatever. So it's now up to Lanza, see if he can get a pick, and if he can't, then Eames will have to find a solution really quickly.
Yeah, indeed. Lanza, he's in this IT right now. Sans holding on that ramp right there may possibly give Lanza an opportunity to get a backstab onto him. But we'll have to see. Do you think they know? Do you think they are aware of Lanza?
I think they know, because I saw Fafa shooting in the walls, and this guy is pretty keen about his accuracy, so I think they know what's going on.
Oh no, Lanza! Just decloaking it. Oh, that's so unlucky. Just the wrong time there. Raf will spot him out. And it looks like the Frenchies, they want to try and take some aggression off of that, but Eames, he cancels that one very quickly, takes down that Blade with a very nice pipe in lobby.
I think it's for the better. It looked like the Frenchies wanted to push like as a team, and getting Blade killed really early was the good thing for them. Because I think they would have beefed this last push, and it wouldn't have been good for them.
Yeah, that is a good point, but Callum, he's gone for that counter-sack. Raf as well, he will be dying to Eames. So just these one-for-one trades, these fairly, low-risk plays coming out of mkcat. They've got 4 minutes to go. It's starting to get tough for them. Holding at last is not where you want to be if you want to try and take this round. It is definitely possible to bring this to a golden cap, or potentially 2 rounds, but I think that would be saying something for them. So hope is not lost, but the more time goes down, the more trickier it will be for them. So Blade, he's actually picked up the sniper right now.
It's a clever pick, because Eames is gonna want to push, so with the sniper you're just denying sight lines and maybe getting a pick on the medic. I think Tomasz has to get off NG, he has to go on scout and try to help his team. Uber is used by Martin, and it's traded, but it's not really good. But maybe they just wanted to use the Uber of the Frenchies and then push out on a dry push and see what's going to happen. But Eames falls down to Alien. That's a really crucial pick now. And maybe they want to take it to last. No, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Now that Eames is dead.
They've got to be careful though. This sentry gun round the corner. They need to deal with it quickly. It looks like they will. Alien takes that one out with a sticky. But meanwhile, they've actually lost 2 players. Alien and not Dahl will be falling. So with 3 players down, this could actually be the opportunity that mkcat needed. They've got 2 minutes and 30 to take this round if they want to take it to a golden cap. They need to try and take this aggression forward if they can. Dry push if possible, but the forward
They're holding
spawners...
so far back. They have to be aggressive because they don't want to let mkcat walk over them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Eames will fall on aid loss as well, a bit caught out. He goes down, so that's really not the way they wanted that to go. Callum trying to get onto Sands there with the escape plan after a failed bomb means that, look at that, 3 players down from mkcat. If the Frenchies can cap this up quickly, they may be in with a good chance of taking this round. But Martin, he tried to take an exchange on the point there to delay it, but he actually dropped his player. And there we go, look at this. He's just trying to live, but no, he's just so caught out. And a nice try from them, but it will not be working out in the end. I think this round will be going the Frenchies' way very shortly, but let's see. Ombrack.
2 spawners from the red team, so maybe not. Like Cullen falls down, Blade falls down, Raf falls down. Maybe not. Maybe they're just gonna beef it, and they actually beef it. But there's 1 minute 30 left. It can happen. It still can happen. Just mkcat has to go now.
I can. I'm feeling the hype now. I think if any team can do it, it's mkcat. They are going for the aggression all the way. Look at this, Eames in choke, but actually Blade will take him down. That's really, again, they're just going slightly too aggressive. Lanza as well, falling on the flank to Fafa. So they've tried to go for it. They've tried to push all the way into mid, but they've just lost too many players before it even began. And Sands and Blade now, they are popping off this Uber. Martin though with some nice movement, just dodging these shots, just staying alive for now. He goes surfing up. He's so weak. Can he do it? No. Blade will be falling. So 40 seconds. Is this possible, Ombrack? Is it mathematically doable?
Eames knows it's possible, so he's just bombing in. And now they just have to let them scout cap and try to go forward, and they have to go really quickly. They have big Uber ad they just want to storm off the second point and go to last right away.
They do. They managed to turn this around somehow after all those attempts. They've done it once again. They're picking off Olga, but so far they've lost so many. Tomasz, Callum and Eames, they are dead, and Raf is all the way behind. I think Hubert now is being used, but there's really not a lot they can do about it. 8 seconds. That was looking so close for mkcat there for a while. But this map will be going the way of 3.5 stars in the end. Oh dear.
That was really, really close.
It was.
Hats down to the Frenchies. Hats down to the Frenchies, because they were on their last for such a long time, like almost 10 minutes. And they made the mistake to repush. And sometimes when it happens, you're like, oh no, we have done the well play, but then we made a mistake, now it's over. But they kept going. They won the mid right after this, and that was crucial for them. And I think the saving grace was that kill from Blade on Eames just at the end on the choke. Yeah, it was like, no man, you're not going anywhere. This map is for us.
That was a bit odd for Eames. I think maybe he was just feeling that the adrenaline flowing. He was feeling it pumping, and he wanted to go forward, but perhaps he didn't quite realize that the rest of his team wasn't connected up with him. They were busy capping. So maybe if he just calmed it down for a moment, just made sure to stay calm and collected, that might have gone a different way. But one thing I want to get your opinion on, Ombrack, if you cast your mind all the way back to about half an hour ago, that first round, mkcat did lose it after a failed push attempt. Do you think maybe that that contributed to this loss? I mean, because it was such a close game, that one round really makes the difference, losing that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's possible. When you think about it, both teams lost a round out of a failed repush. And yeah, that just goes to show that it's really hard to repush last points, whatever the map is, when Ubers are the same and you're just trying to go out of one pick or even two. And they got punished for that, so it's a bit harsh because you're just punishing people for actually playing in a aggressive way of playing, and you got punished for it, so it's you feel kind of bad about it afterwards. But maybe he got some impact. I think, like we said earlier, that mkcat had a better read on product, but I think on this one you just have to, it's kind of the opposite. I think mkcat made some silly mistakes, maybe out of adrenaline rush, or I don't know. And maybe the Frenchies stayed a bit more composed. Like when they were on their last, the Frenchies realized at some point that they shouldn't push, and they didn't push, while Eames tried the repush at the beginning of the map. It just got punished for it by a lost round. So
yeah,
it's kind of like the opposite.
I think possibly he was just thinking that it was going to be a fairly quick game with lots of rounds trading, and actually the loss of that one round at the beginning wouldn't mean anything. But when you've got the Frenchies playing that slow, careful style, that it works so well, it really does. Just not giving up anything unnecessarily, playing very, very carefully, which they did well. That can punish an early mistake like that, and I think that is what we saw there. But let's have a look at these logs right now, if possible. Let's just have a look. We're on the heals page right now. Can we cast our minds back to the numbers? I want to have a quick look at those. All right, cool.
Well, we can see obviously a low number of deaths from the Frenchies because they held their last for such a long time. Like Alien with only 7 deaths, but only 9 kills. These logs just show how stalemated the game was.
Yeah, look at the DPM as well. You can see it was slow. I mean, Lanza and Callum, they both had quite high deaths, but we saw them go for those medic plays, those sacks, a couple of times. I think that explains that. There's nothing too much to really read into that. But I mean, Callum with top DPM, maybe that came down to those banner plays a little bit, but
yeah, probably.
I don't think the Conjurer was the right choice for them. Possibly they weren't using it to its maximum effectiveness. They almost kind of were just in the lobby. They weren't in the last when the banner was being popped off, so they couldn't really use it to the most effective. It would be my take on that.
Yeah, I feel like maybe mkcat didn't try enough wild stuff. You know, they only tried a sniper, a spy, and a banner. When you stay on the other team's last for so long, you have time to try some city stuff. Maybe that's what they lacked. I don't know. It's really hard to tell from our perspective, because when you're in such a game where the stakes are this high, you really don't want to lose a round. So you're like, okay, if we do this, maybe we get punished and we get rolled to our last. So let's try to play safe as much as we can. And then when the clocks run down, we'll try something weird. But it's, I don't know. They lost a round out of an aggressive push, so it's really hard to blame them for being defensive after it. You just have to find the right balance. Unfortunately, they didn't find it, but that was really, really, really close.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are changing over the servers again. I've managed to snap up the connect nice and quick, so hopefully we won't miss that first mid fight again. But okay, Reckoner is our deciding map right now. So, having seen the performances from the past two maps, Ombrack, how do you think that these teams are going to be stacking up on this one?
Well, it's hard to tell, really. It felt like maybe Olga and Raf stepped up a bit on process after their poor product performance. So maybe they will. I think mid is kind of more of a soldier mid than a scout mid. So
yeah,
I think. Yeah, we said it before the game started. I think I'd give mkcat a slight edge, just because I think they have better soldiers overall, and the better demo maybe. I think IMS is slightly above Alien tonight, so it's gonna be really tough. And I think this time it's gonna go down.
Hello, welcome back. How's it going? All right, we briefly lost connection for a moment, but our wonderful voices are back now, so never mind that. Yeah, I think you're right. The soldiers, you know, they are possibly stronger. I mean, both sets of soldiers do play quite aggressively. So personally, I think it's going to be up to the scouts really, in terms of, you know, denying those bombs and cleaning up the frags in the end. But we are going live right now on this deciding map of the semi-finals of the High Playoff Season 27. mkcat versus 3.5 stars. All right, take it away, Ombrack.
I was on Lancer, thinking he was doing something, but he was AFK on Toxic. Now he's jumping in right away over Sans, double bomb. He missed the medic. He gets the medic right now. And Eames died to someone who changed his name again. Thank you a lot, Fafa, I think. Yeah, Fafa is now 114. Yeah. Okay, so that threw me off a bit, but it looks like product first mids. Sense dies, but the Frenchies got the point.
Yeah, they did. And Martin and Adelos, once again, they just made that crucial play of running away. They saw the mid was going poorly. They lost 3 players fairly quickly. They did back out, which means they are going to have that full Uber advantage right now, as they're looking to push into this lower area. Actually, Olga and Raf going in for a jump. Raf does get good damage onto Martin, will force him off in the end, and that soldier aggression has just bought Sans and Alien so much time to back out through that cargo. So a back cap as well from Raf will be pulling Lanza back. Raf hits a really nice rocket, can't quite finish it off though. But that has pulled 3 players back, so I mean, the Frenchies have the possibility of recontesting. I'd like to see them try and do that as well, especially seeing as they have their full Uber advantage, and here it comes. They're onto this midpoint right now. They've just, they've absolutely stormed in. Martin and Callum having to back away. They have retaken their mid.
Whoa, that was
a bit of trading going on.
Yeah, that was a bit reckless from the Frenchies. I feel I feel like they used really without really knowing where the red team were. So they just got Lanza, and they did nothing with the Uber afterwards. So I think they rushed it a bit. They didn't have to be so quick, considering they have an Uber ads. But hey, what happened happens, and now it's they're holding far back on the mid.
Yeah, we've seen a bit of leapfrogging so far, but look at that, Eames, he was just absolutely flying in. Him and Callum will be taken down. I think there's a bit of a sack wave going on right now. Sands on about half HP after that Lanza bomb came in. So, you know, Martin just trying to cut his losses there, trying to get a force out of Sands, but it will not be successful. And they will actually lose their second for that, with the possibility of push into last from the Frenchies as well. I wonder if that was quite what the plan was from mkcat there.
Heavy's out from Aedolos. Try to hold, of course, this last. I'd like to see the Frenchies going pretty soon, considering they have the ads. They use on Fafa on top left. Callum is going really weak. The two scouts on the Uber. Callum falls down. And now they have to rotate doors and try to get rid of the Sikis of the point. Raf is jumping in, but is received by a pipe from Eames. Eames died anyway, so now the point is free, and that's 1-0 for the Frenchies. Really, really nice play. They just wrapped up the red team in their spawn and just didn't let them go out.
Yeah, after Callum went down there, mkcat rotated to that left side, but I feel like they just played slightly too close to the spawn door. They didn't really take the room. And actually, the Frenchies just managed to zone them out, box them completely into that spawn. Eames tried to go forward to defend the point with the stickies, but he wasn't quite successful, and that will be capped up. Okay, so mid-fight number 2. Eames is dancing around with Olga right now. Oh no, did we disconnect again? I think we did. Okay, it's no problem. We are back now.
So yet another win, mid won by the Frenchies. Pretty convincingly this one, even though there were only 3. Sense is alive this time, and they're trying to contest second right away, even though there are only 3. And mkcat has to set up a heavy defenses on last, and it looks like they're doing it. Lanza is playing NG. We can see Aedolos on heavy once again, and it's got to be another push with Uber ads. The Uber is used on Alien on top left once again. They rotate on the sentry falls down. And they're trying to focus down the heavy. Really nice play. That was exactly the same push. It looks like mkcat just want to hide in the spawn, waiting for the storms to come off, I don't know. And the Frenchies just take advantage of this. Like, there's no one on point, just go on it, and it works. That's weird.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit of deja vu right now, Ombrack. That round seemed incredibly similar to what we saw before. Dominant mid turning into a last push successfully executed by the Frenchies. So with 2 rounds down, mkcat, they need to try and take some rounds back, and that all starts the mid. So here we go, Raf, he's jumped into under right now, but Lanza as well, he's flanking. He might be trying to get onto Sand soon, but Thomas and Lanza, they've both picked up a frag each, with Fafa going down as well. The jump from Raf does come in, he does take down Martin, so that's pretty big. I think Lanza, he's chasing this medic Sands into last. He really needs to try and get this. He's jumping in, can he do it? He hits one nice rocket, but a really nice serve from Sands into spawn. Saves himself there. Great stuff from him. Great movement. Loving it.
Just dies for his loss. And that was a really good mid from mkcat. This time they tried to go aggressive. Eames walked over the bridge over the point and just landed a lot of damage on the other team combo. And that's a nice reaction from mkcat.
They have managed to take second off of that, but I think the uber advantage from Sands will come into play very, very shortly. Look at this. Lanza, he does get good damage onto Sands, but he will fall for that. So the Frenchies will be capping up there too. And they still have about a 40 ad if they want to try and use this. I think they're going to be going for that, or they're trying to make their minds up right now. They're like, do we go toxic? Do we go under? I think they're going for under. And they will be flooding in shortly on Ombrack.
they have to go right now. Both soldiers are jumping in, but mkcat is really far back on cargo, so they are happy to give up mid as long as they don't lose their medic. So I think the Frenchies are quite pleased as well with the situation. There was a 3-point recap, and it looks like they want to go in. Maybe they still think they have the advantage. That would be a mistake, but no, Raph is trying to sack in up in the air. He gets one rocket Martin, the Uber is used from mkcat, and now it's the Frenchies' time to just go back like a tide.
Callum is trying to do this now. He's getting onto Sands. He does get the force off, actually. That is really huge. Lanza will pay for that as well. I think he was just trying to give some support to Callum, but he did not need it. Callum, he was all over that one, managed to get the force out. So the players will be flooding in through Toxic from the Frenchies. They will cap there too, but there is no big advantage this time. So this potentially is the saving grace for mkcat. If Eames can just avoid getting killed, yes, he can. So this is much better for them now. They can slow it down and stabilize on this last. They do have that 2-round deficit. So, you know, they've got to be careful. They've got to try and go for something at some point. But for now, at least, they're not losing this round. That's what they're going to be happy about.
You can see the Frenchies playing very carefully. Everyone is outside of lobby, just chilling on points. They don't want to give some stupid picks. And they know that it's now up to mkcat to do something. Once again, they're quite happy to wait and see what's going to happen. We can see Tomasz on Sniper and Idolus on Spy, so that's double flex from the mkcat scouts. I think the Frenchies expect at least the Sniper, maybe not the Spy, but because that's quite unusual.
I think Alos was just checking the classes there. He did switch off in the end.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But Lanza was a bit far forward in lobby, and Fafa will be taking him down. I just want to quickly mention, actually, I think Tomas, he's been on this Sniper for quite a bit. He hasn't really hit any, you know, particularly great shots, and actually Raph will come in all the way onto the left side and take him down. So that's 2 picks that actually they can use right now. The Uber is forced off from both teams, and with the respawners coming in from mkcat, actually the Frenchies will be getting the worst end of this. Olga, he's so weak, he will just be slithering away there. But this is the opportunity that mkcat, they can try and get into second. But look at that, the damage actually. Callum will be taken down on that attempt. So they just need to play this slowly now, play together, not give anything up. I mean, oh, I think they are just choosing to cancel this right now, mkcat. That dragged on for slightly too long, and the respawners did come in from 3.5 stars. So that was a nice try, a good attempt, but it won't be working out for them in the end.
Looks like Blade is just checking for off classes. No, he's actually going Spy now. He wants to make something happen. And we can see Lancer this time on the Sniper, where Tomasz is on the NG. Eames must have been like, hey Tomasz, you're not hitting, let someone else play Sniper.
Yeah,
so
possibly.
You have to listen to Eames when he says stuff like that. And we have to see how... Oh, wow, we have a double Spy here, with Lancer switching off Sniper, going Spy as well.
We do, but look at this Blade, just acting as this security camera right now. He's totally spotted that out. So the Frenchies will be completely aware of the Lanza Spy. They will be checking their backs at every moment, which that is going to greatly reduce the impact of it. But I think, you know, Lanza, he will just be switching off. So a wise choice from him indeed. I think he would have had to pull a miracle out there if he wanted to get a stab onto Sands with that one. But Lanza, he will actually get that pick onto Raph. That could be an opening for mkcat. Let's see what they can do. He's poking into this rollout once again, but the positioning from the Frenchies just not giving him anything at all.
Blade is going in, and he gets Martin. He drops the medic. That was like mkcat never was aware of the Spy, and now it's an Uber. The Uber was used from Sounds. It can be around if he managed to take it on sentry. Alien does so. It's 2 pipes, Ados. Nice job from the French demo, and it looks like the Frenchies have quite an easy fight going on right now. They're trying to pressure Eames and get the sticks out of points. Callum's bombing in, trying to get damage. He actually does. Can they beef it again?
Yeah, the fight is dragging on. Look at this. The respawners, they did come in from mkcat. They're all so weak. And actually, Blade, he manages to pick up Thomas. But that was looking so good for the Frenchies there, but they didn't quite manage to do it. The respawners did come in time, and they just managed to get the better end of that DM fight in the end. But that was a pretty chaotic situation with those medics there. A sack did come in onto the second point and did force off Sands. But at the exact same time, that spy all the way from yonder years, he did backstab Martin as well. So a bit of an odd situation where both of the Ubers come out of the play at the same time. But you know, the Frenchies, they almost managed to get all the frags they needed. Just not quite once again. It's not going to be meaning a lot for them. You know, they're 2 rounds up right now, and they're still in control of the mid. So although mkcat have pushed out onto their second, it's really not a huge loss for them, for the Frenchies right now.
Looks like Olga is trying to poke around the combo, trying to get cheap damage, maybe for a bomb from Raph. But they have to know that Reckoner is a really tough map to push on, especially the second points. So if I were them, I would just be happy to wait again and see what's happening. We can see they know that Tomasz is a sniper now, so they don't want to pick in his sidelines. Olga is just pushing the sniper route, but it's not working.
Thomas got 2 really nice headshots there. He took Alien and that soldier down so weak, but he didn't quite manage to clean them off. It's quite unlucky. But look at the positioning from mkcat right now. They're taking all this room in Toxic. Similar to the Frenchies were doing just before they sent their sack of Raph in. I wonder if that's what mkcat are trying to do. I mean, Lanza, he's just chilling out on this roof right now. He doesn't want any part of the action, but Raph, he comes in, he sends Eames flying, but will pay his life for that in the end. So I think Lanza and Thomas now, they're just angling up on this flank. Maybe trying to get a play in at some point. Let's see what they're going to try and do.
They're giving mkcat too much respect, I think. They have to be more aggressive. They have to deny the doors. Fafa gets Callum, who thacked in, if I'm not mistaken, and now it's gonna be maybe another attempt for Raph to sack in, but it's not enough to push out of it, that's sure.
If you're mkcat right now, Ombrack, just put yourself in their shoes for the moment. You're 2 rounds down, you've got 15 minutes left to go. You've got your second. What would you be looking to do? You know, do you think you've still got plenty of time, or is it starting to get tough?
It's starting to get tough, but I like the way Tomasz just rotated and tried to pick from Toxic. That was a clever play, I think. Maybe a bit unexpected from the French side, so that was good. They still have time to try to poke a bit, try to force the Frenchies out, but time is starting to run down, so they have to maybe get aggressive on cargo. Look, it's looking like the Frenchies aren't really aggressive in cargo. Like, you can get room there and then trying to work out of it. And Tomasz went spy, so that's something that's gonna happen. I don't understand why Raph is being so aggressive. He doesn't have to die.
Yeah, it really is up to mkcat at this point to get the aggression on, or get some sort of a play for them. You know, the Frenchies will just be completely happy to chill out for as long as they can, just wear that time down. But Thomas looks like he might actually be in a good position right now. The back of Sands is almost available to him. He's potentially just going to wait for a distraction from the rest of his team. If they get aggressive into cargo like they did before, they might be able to turn enough heads for Thomas to get in and get that backstab onto Sands. He will be decloaking it now, actually, so it almost looks like something will be happening very shortly.
They don't expect it. They don't expect it.
Oh my god! The 2k stab onto Olga and Fafa.
And he leaves.
He escapes as well. That's insane. Oh my god, Thomas. And Eames picks up another one as well. He will pay for that. The Uber's being exchanged right now. This is going to go so much better for mkcat. Sands, he just gets juggled out. He will be taken down by Callum as well, so that's so huge for them. This could be an absolute momentum shift for mkcat. They've taken mid off of this, and they will have an Uber advantage as well.
What a play from Tomasz and Spy. It looked I don't know. They shouldn't bleed out now. They lost their medic. All you want to do is keep your players alive and hold on last, set up on last. But instead, they just gave 3 people away. It's questionable.
I think they were potentially just sacking in for Martin there. I don't know. Maybe they just they thought they could respawn in time to defend last. But if they managed to get a nice pick onto Martin, the users would be a bit more even. But as it stands, Martin has about a 50% advantage. We do see Thomas on Spy though, actually, so he's not on that fragging class, he's not on the Scout. So this could be tricky for them. We're going to have to see how he deals with this. Maybe just getting a pick beforehand will work out, or a sap onto the sentry, something like that could be useful for him. But the Uber is actually coming in now on the top left. Eames and Callum leading this forward. The banner as well is being popped off from Lanza. Oh, sorry, Callum. He is the one using
what
that.
A rocket from Lanza on Fafa, just completely obliterating the Scout. And even though the Uber was really, really poor, in my opinion, from mkcat, the Frenchies beefed. Maybe it was like the banner. I think we don't really know how impactful that can be yet. Maybe the banner just made the difference. But yeah, that's 2-1, and now mkcat can come back into the game. They need a strong mid right now.
Yeah, they do. They're going to be looking to take this one if they can. I think Eames and Alien will meet each other on this right side right now. Eames getting the slightly better end of the damage onto him. I think Lanza will try to use that as best he can, jumping onto that demo man of Alien Smiley. He does get taken down. Olga so far up into the air right now. He's so weak, but the frags are falling the way of the Frenchies. And look at the health from mkcat right now. Their scouts are so weak. Adelos will be falling. It's just a 3v3 fight right now. Demo man and a scout, so it's a fairly even match. But the slight high ground from the Frenchies, will they be able to use this? It's just dragging out now. It's going to be basically coming into the point where the respawners, the quicker you can get to the fight, the more impact you're going to have. And look at this Lanza, he goes on, he picks off Alien and gets a force as well. That's so huge. Martin only just using his Uber now. And I think this is starting to look good for mkcat, Ombrack.
Yeah, maybe they knew they had better respawn, so they just made the fight last forever. But looks like Blade and Raph saved the fight for the team. Good bomb from Olga and Raph on Eames, who falls down, and now it's Tomasz and Martin. Wow, that was really savage from the French soldiers. And once again, it was a bit messy, a bit scattered, and in a surprising way, it's with DM that the Frenchies came winners out of this.
Yeah, I think they had a couple of players that had wrapped around behind as well, so they kind of just used that distraction and those flanks to their full advantage to get the frags there. We did see Lanza hiding in that cargo, trying to go for a play onto Sands possibly. He does have a big advantage, we are going to see that shortly. But he did pay his life for that. It is no matter though, he will be respawning for this last defense as the Uber will be used by the Frenchies through the top left right now. They do focus down the sentry gun, and Tomasz falls as well on that sniper. So Raph now just jumping so deep onto this right side. Olga follows him up, but actually they've both gone down from that. The fight is looking fairly even for them now as the frags, they are falling the way of mkcat. A beautiful rocket from Lanza there takes down Fafa as Alien and Sands are just being chased all the way out of last. So an unsuccessful push there from the Frenchies. Yeah.
What a defense from Adelos. He just completely shut down the 2 soldiers from 3.5 stars, winning this last defense for his team. That was really impressive. What wasn't impressive is that use of the Uber from Sans. His team did nothing with the charge, and that's sad to see.
I mean, they focused down the sentry quite early, but they really didn't manage to get any other frags, and they took so long to do it. You're absolutely right. So the Uber now is coming in from Martin. Sands will just about get his in time and pop it off, but look at this. It's Mr. Pirate in disguise. He is on the back cap right now. He's managed to take down Lanza, but Eames and Tomasz have come back to deal with that, and that's given the Frenchies so much space to come forwards. The frags, they're going either way right now. Callum in this cargo, he might be able to get a play onto Sands possibly, or he may just be a little bit caught out. He's got to be careful. I think he will just be skip jumping away, so that did end happily for him. But Martin died during all of that, so Sans now has, once again, an advantage for last. And we've seen so far, I think, mkcat haven't particularly been able to defend well against the disadvantages. They did it that one last time, but you know, they've lost these the first 2 rounds to a full disadvantage. So we're going to need to see, you know, that same level of Aedalos clutch if they want to defend from this.
And this time it looks like they want to take the Uber on the right side on Olga. Still those cuts in the Uber for some reason. And Lanza with a crazy pick on Olga. That's really important for his team. The sentry is going down right away. But is that enough? I'm not sure. Yeah, Alien tried with sticky camp, but just sticky jumped out. And that frag from Lanza on Olga was a saving grace for mkcat.
Yeah, it really was. Crucial headshot there coming out of Lanza, just turning up on that sniper right now. But Callum, he's having a bit of deja vu, as he will be bombed in that rollout and taken down. So Martin has his Uber. He could, if he wanted to, along with the rest of his team, go for a push out onto second when Callum respawns. I'd like to see them that.
Alert! Our last control point is being captured. You failed!
Para and Olga, that was nuts. The Frenchies with another backup after the one they did on Process. I'm not sure that seals the deal, but it's close to it.
Yeah, look at that. 6 minutes and 46 seconds. mkcat have to get those 2 rounds if they want to bring this to Golden Cap. They were looking strong on that first map, but actually the Frenchies now turning up in these CP maps, showing they are definitely a very, very strong team indeed.
We can see mkcat trying to take on the right side, going really aggressive on the French side, but it's a mirror match right now. Well, the both soldiers jump for Sans, but what a strike from the medic. He just died from the crater. That's a bit sad, but maybe they can turn it off. Tomasz pulled down for Fafa kills Tomasz. Fafa gets the medic as well, and now it's the scout versus the soldiers. Can they win it? Raph is in as well.
4 HP on Mr. Callum. The entire health pool of mkcat combined was just 4 at the end there. He will be taken down. So the Frenchies, they will be winning that mid. Martin there, I noticed a couple of times he had the opportunity to escape and run away. But I think that his teammates were calling to him, no, come on, we're winning this fight, we're doing it. We're fragging them. But it was a little bit too little too late right there, as he did end up committing into the fight and got just sandwiched by both of those scouts. That's quite unlucky from him, I'd have to say.
You don't escape from Mr. Pyra. It's over.
Once you're in his sights, it's long gone. Absolutely.
Calvin pulling full down to Alien. Alien gets the frag, and now it's a big Uber ad for the Frenchie. Eames is getting quite aggressive on Cargo, and he could get out of guard now. Yeah, he is, because the Uber used on Olga and the scout. Para gets Eames, and Olga gets the medic. That's getting fishy for the mkcat unless they can turn it off. I don't think they can. They can't turn it around. And that fight was really savage for mkcat. Like, they had no chance. They got caught off guard by the push from under from the Frenchies, and that if played well, that should be another run for the French team.
Yeah, that was very unlucky again from Martin. He was on 90%. He was so close to his Uber as the push came in from 3.5 stars. Sans just absolutely on point with his Uber counting there. They knew they had the advantage and they went for it. And they were indeed successful. They managed to kill Martin just before he got his Uber. But in a way, a lot of frags did fall before that even happened, before Martin died. So I think that push was looking good for the Frenchies no matter what happened there. But they've kind of given up their ad that they had right now. Martin, he's on 90% now. He will be building it up to full very quickly. Oh! So Thomas, he does get Sans. Insane.
How was his spy play? He must have got a fight from Eames, because I see Eames got the assist on it. But one shot of his gun was enough.
It was, but the point is being played now. The Uber coming in just in time to save that cap right now. Callum popping off his banner as well. The health of the Frenchies not looking so good, and actually Aedalos will pick off Olga. Alien on about half HP on the top. he is just backing out right now. So the cap time was so close for them there, but the just clutch Uber right there from Martin will save that last point. But 3 minutes.
They have to go now. It's now or never.
They do. They really need to go for something. I think Olga is playing that spy right now. Not entirely sure why. I'd just keep it on the soldier. You know, that's what you want to be doing. mkcat right now. Look at that. Oh, I thought he was on rollout, but no, Olga was in under.
He's going for the back cap. Maybe he can get Lancer. I don't know. Like, if he gets it, it's over. He's unclocking. He's trying to get down Lancer, but it's too late anyway because he couldn't cap it. And now it's gonna be a rush from mkcat. They have 2 minutes 30 seconds to win 2 rounds and make it a 3-3. So just don't waste any time, boys. Just push.
Yeah, this is the absolute clutch time for them now. We saw them almost get, you know, very, very close to the final objective on Process, but can they do it on Reckoner? Let's see. 2 minutes to go. They have to play absolutely perfectly right now if they want to take this. But they're going to take second. But, you know, Sans, he's up on his Uber right now. They're just going to need to go for a dry push, I think. That is what they're going to be doing, is the Uber. Look at these 3 players now launching all the way forward. It's an absolute air show from them right now, but the exchange does happen, and Lanza and Eames will fall. Oh dear, it's not looking good for them. mkcat, 2 rounds down. And,
this is grim for mkcat. They have to maybe wait for this. I don't even know if they have time to wait for this bonus. They have to commit right now, even though there's a sentry from Fafa just waiting for them at the corner.
Yeah.
I'm coding GG right now. I think it's over.
I think, you know what, 2 rounds in 1 minute 20, it's not actually possible. I have to say, I think this is it. The Frenchies, 3.5 stars, will take this semi-final. There we go. I'm a little bit sad about that. I'll wipe the tears off. But
well, that was really close.
It was. It really was all the way through.
Product was quite kind of a roll, but the 2 CP maps were really, really, really tight, and it could have gone either way on both maps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw definitely some great off-classing plays, a lot of fantastic spy plays on Reckoner, actually, I have to say. But in the end, I think just the slow style, again, the careful nature of 3.5 stars just beat out that aggressive play from mkcat, which is, you know, it's sad to see, but, you know, they will be winning that one in the end.
Yeah, I think Mr. Blade had a stellar game. We'll see other logs, I think, but he was really the one who led his team to victory. Even though we talked about the soldiers before the map, and I think the soldiers were quite important on the mids, but when it comes to the rest of the map, I think Blade was completely insane, and he's just shown what a star player he is for his team.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll, you know, definitely see that on the logs, but he was turning up, getting some frags indeed. I have to say, I was a little bit disappointed with the Tomasz sniper. I think Lanza, once he picked that one up, he was doing a lot better. He was getting those headshots. I'm not sure what was going on there quite exactly, but Tomasz typically is a really, really strong sniper, but I mean, maybe this just wasn't his day, you know, maybe he was just feeling a bit down or something like that. Here we go, here are the logs. What do you make of this then, Ombrack?
Well, just to highlight what you said, Tomasz played 5 minutes of sniper, he didn't get a single kill. No.
And what about Lanza? Let's have a look at him. He played 3 minutes and got 2 kills.
Yeah.
Tomasz being slightly outsniped by his teammate there, I have to say. Maybe that's going to start some internal arguments, who knows.
And look at Blade's game, like he went 22 for 13, 270 DPM. Like, as a roaming scout, these numbers are completely nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Olga as well, very, very similar stats. Great stuff from him. His aggression and experience finally, finally turning up, making an impact.
And Callum, for sure. Callum and Blade have the exact same damage.
Do they? Well, the exact same number? Yeah, they do. 7,907.
You don't see that every day.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
That just shows the dominance of the Frenchies on this map. Like, there are few of their players top damaging. One is tied with Callum, but yeah, the mid was really strong from them. And it just, the win, you built your win from your mids. I think they won most of it. Yeah, they won 4 mids out of 5, so that just really dominant.
I mean, it's tough for mkcat as well when it's you've won the first map decisively, you've lost the second map, it's very, very close, and then on the third map, which was your own pick, the deciding map, you again have a similar situation to before where you have the opportunity to come back, but you're on your own last, where it's going to be so difficult to take it all the way to their last. So possibly the morale was starting to just drag down at the end. It really was a tough fight for them. They had to play it perfectly, and they had some good showings. They almost managed to convert a few pushes out, things like that. But in the end, the Frenchies just got the better end of it because they were in the driving seat. They were in the comfortable spot. They didn't have to give anything up at all, but mkcat did, and that is, I think that is going to be the big difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we kind of knew mkcat as a better DM. They won the DM heavy map, and the Frenchies won the kind of more team cohesion maps. Maybe it's not random. Maybe there's a deep meaning behind this. But in any case, the Frenchies look quite strong before going into the finals.
Yeah, they do. I mean, let me try and have a look at the bracket right now. Let's see what this means for these teams. Because mkcat, they did get the bye in that first round of the playoffs, meaning they did get automatically straight into the semis. So let me just try and figure this one out right now. Let's have a look. Is there a page for this? I'm not sure. Anyway.
From the other team, the other map that's going on, it seems like Loli Squad won the first map, but they lost the second and the Golden Cap, so the second semi is still going on. So we have only one finalist known right now, but either way, it should be a good final because I think the Frenchies showed some character and some strong spirits. Even though they lost the first map quite convincingly, they were able to step up their game. I'm thinking about Blade and Raf in particular. I think Raf had really good bombs on Martin on the CP maps, and yeah, that's really important to have. When your main caller doesn't play well, it doesn't call well, but when like the other way around is true as well. So it's important to have your main caller playing a good game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've got the. Is this this must be single elimination then?
Yeah,
it's not double like in the Prem playoffs. So there we go. I mean, mkcat, wave goodbye. That feels bad, man. But they are out of these playoffs. They have lost. They're not going through to the last round. 3.5 stars on the other hand, they will be, and they'll be very, very happy with that for sure. So it's just down to the Aura Electro v Loli Squad game, which is of course still going on. So yeah, we will see. I think it definitely will be a good grand final. You know, I think all 4 of these teams that are in the semis right now, you know, are fairly evenly placed, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think there's not a lot in it. It could be, you know, pretty good game, pretty close as well, no matter what happens.
But I would have given mkcat a slight edge of all these 4 teams. I think they would have been the better team. So it's a bit of a shame not to see them in finals. But I mean, if you're able to take down the team that won pretty much all of this game in high, it kind of shows that you're good enough and you deserve your spot in the high finals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's hard to say, you know, after a result like that, but I think mkcat possibly would have been strong against either Aura Electro or Loli Squad, depending on which one of them got in. But right now, who is this? We are being joined by some video gamers. We have ourselves from mkcat, Mr. Eames, the big man himself, and from 3.5 we have Raf and Sound. So welcome, guys. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm good, thanks.
All right, so I guess to the 3.5 guys first of all. After that first map of Product, how were you guys feeling? Did you think that was going to be the map that you lost and you were going to come back on the CP maps, or were you starting to get worried at that point?
I would say that we had no idea before the game because we only played once just before, and it was against a Nunya mix. So we didn't know if we were going to do well or not, and we were really upset because Suns just crashed at the end of the first one, and we start to lose at this point, and couldn't stop it after.
Yeah. All right, and Eames then. How did you find that game from the main calling point of view? How was that for you?
Well, which game?
Well, all
map?
of them. All right, let's start with Product then. You won that one.
Well, Product's pretty easy to main call because you just call focus basically, and you just say, okay, everyone go aggressive, and then we did, and we're it's a pretty easy map to main call on, so that was fine. Obviously, we won that.
Yeah. Okay, so on the CP maps after that, then do you feel like, what do you think the loss came down to? Was it just you weren't quite winning those DM fights, or was it the fact that possibly 3.5 were just playing a little bit better together and had some better strategies? Which one do you think it was?
I don't know. I'd say it's a lot of things. Probably not the DM, but they had good mids on all the maps when we didn't really have them on Reckoner. I don't know. We kept on Reckoner. We kept expecting to have Uber advantage constantly and not having it. Like, we'd think we'd have like a 30-40% ad and we'd go in, they'd have Uber. I don't really quite know how that happened. Apparently one time they had literally 99% when we went in, so that's unfortunate. But I don't know. It just didn't go well. We just couldn't. And then once we got behind, it's so hard to get back once they're just stalemating you on last, and
yeah. Did you? I mean, on process, you were really going for it. You were trying to push out lots of times. I think you managed it once successfully, but were you thinking to yourself, yes, we're gonna go for this, we're gonna try it, especially on Reckoner as well, or were you, kind of thinking, just give this map up?
I'd say we were thinking that, and perhaps too much, because I mean, you probably saw a lot of the times on process with the push out. I was trying to go really aggressive really quickly, and I went too quick and just fucking died on my own. Sorry, PG stream. So yeah, we were really hyped to try and get there, and so much so that we overextended. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
So I guess the flip question then to the 3.5 guys: were you feeling in control the whole time, or were you scared of a possible mkcat comeback?
I think once you are ahead in the game, it's much easier for us to slow the game down, and yeah, I know it's not really nice to watch, but that's how we play. So, and yeah, it's much easier for us when we get the 2 first rounds. Then we can really do what we want.
Yeah,
like
you're in control essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't usually play passive, but we wait for 9 minutes on our last on process, and they managed to kept at the last 20 seconds because
yeah,
it didn't
that was
play
funny. That was close.
At this time we just say, okay, we're going to slow the game like them and try to not do mistakes. But every time we were doing this, it was not going well.
I mean, to me, there weren't that many rounds on the board, but it didn't feel like a slow game because both teams were going for different plays, trying things out, trying dry pushes, sacks, things like that. So there was almost a lot of momentum shift at times, but just a lot of them were almost failed attempts, I suppose. They didn't really amount to anything in the end.
I'm happy if you felt like that, but from our point of view, it was really stalematy on both process and Reckoner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've had some good meets, so it was much easier once I was staying alive and their med didn't, and so it went a bit. It was easier back then.
Yeah, I mean, Eames, what was it like playing with Martin instead of your usual medic Cherry? Was that an expected thing if you played with him before, or were there some issues fitting in for the first time?
We've played with him a few times, but not many. It's not. I definitely wouldn't say it's because Martin is not a great med. He's definitely a great med, as showed on Viaduct, where he got, I think, 1 death. Like, he played really well there, but there's certain things that you get sort of like used to that you can just assume that you don't have to tell someone. So, i.e., Cherry, who would have been there playing today if he wasn't ill, and just sometimes those things that you can't really communicate, you would have to communicate afterwards in a map talk. Those weren't being done because obviously he hasn't played an entire season with us and listening to me tell him what to do all the time. So I think that was a bit of a one reason that it could have been a bit closer if we had Cherry. Not to say that Martin's bad, but yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Martin was actually impossible to play against on Viaduct, at least, because like every time we were bombing him, he like was surfing so well or playing really fullback.
Yeah,
and I don't know, like,
he has some great moves.
Yeah,
I don't know, but on Viaduct, I felt like we had no chance to do anything. Like every time we were trying to do something, they were just like owning us, and yeah, that's actually really hard on Viaduct.
So now that you win this, you're in finals. We don't know yet if it's Loli Squad or Electro who won the other game. But how do you feel going into the finals? Did you expect to beat mkcat? Okay.
Sounds yes.
Yeah, we were hoping to beat them, but.
I think it was really like 50-50. Like it could have been either way. Like
I think we haven't played a lot against mkcat during the season, so it was really hard to tell from our point of view.
Okay, because I'm asking that because obviously mkcat at the Stellar season they only dropped 1 map to Loli Squad. You've beat them. So do you consider yourself favorites in the finals, or is it still 50-50 as you said?
Well, we are swimming a lot against Loli Squad, almost twice a week, and it's always very close. So if it's against Loli Squad, I'm expecting a close game. And we didn't play against our Electro for at least 2 weeks, so I'm not sure about them. But if the game between Loli Squad and Eskimo is close, Eskimo's team, I mean, I think it's going to be a close final anyway.
Yeah. Do you have any preference between the two teams when you want to play more than the other?
Yeah, I want to play against Loli Squad, so tops get a chance to get a second place match, you know.
And that was the right answer.
Oh dear. All right. Any other questions on Ombrack? Can you think of anything to interrogate these guys about right now?
Not really. Yeah, maybe Eames. I know how it feels to lose in high playoffs. I've done it quite a few times. So, how do you reckon what do you reckon is going to happen for you next season? Do you plan to try again or do something else?
Well, it's kind of all up in the air at the moment. I mean, I know there's a big meme where if we lose, we fold, which is probably potentially the case, but at the moment, people still really haven't decided. So I think we'll be thinking about what's going to happen after LAN, probably. We're taking a break for now, as we're all kind of sick of each other. But I don't know. It depends.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think are we all done? Shall we wrap this one up? Send everyone off to sleep. All right, good stuff. Well, thank you very much, guys, for turning up to this interview, and thank you as well for playing that game. That was an enjoyable one to watch for sure. Maybe not so much to play, but it was a good one for everybody watching. So let's have some shout-outs then. Let's go in the order I see in Mumble. Eames, can you got any shout-outs?
Isn't Sans first? Okay, never mind.
Oh, you're first for me.
Alright, I will go for Marosh, actually, because he has been our coach recently, so shout out to him.
And you've lost, so...
Yeah, I know. Maybe he hasn't been doing his job very well. Well, I think he has. He's had a lot of good input. Shout out to Marish for coaching us. Shout out to, obviously, my team. We've had a really great season. It's unfortunate it ended this way, but, you know, I think we did well. It was, you know, our first time playing together, whereas I think these Frenchies in the Circle Jerk have known each other for a lot longer. So, you know, they've got that advantage. And then finally, shout out to my LAN team, who is like half of mkcat and some other people. So, should be good at my 61. Well, shout out to you guys as well for casting it.
Thank you. All right. Our producer there saying thanks as well. So, Ombrack, you're next, I suppose.
Shout outs to both teams for playing an enjoyable game to cast. Shout outs to EverX for being my partner, gemm on production. People who've watched this, that was savage, and hopefully see you at I61.
Cool, Raf.
Yeah, shoutouts to Carnax, who didn't play this game because he wasn't confident. Shoutouts to Clem, who is with Carnax on a Carnax LAN, and I'm going to join them tomorrow. And shoutouts to you, both of you, to casting, and gemm on production, of course. And see you at X61, I guess. We are going to go with a different team.
All right, good stuff. Sans then.
Yeah, shout out to Olga, because he's the best bucket in the world and the sweetest guy ever. And shout out to the whole team, because it was really enjoyable to play with every one of them during this season. I don't think I'm gonna play next season, but I wish them the best for the future.
Cool.
And that's it.
Nice. All right. Well, for my shout out to the 3.5 stars scouts for confusing the absolute hell out of me with your names. That was much appreciated. Thank you. But anyway, thank you very much to Ombrack and gemm. It's been an absolute pleasure casting with you tonight. But I think that is going to wrap this game up right now. 3.5 stars versus mkcat. You'll have to tune back in the near future to watch those grand finals. All right, well, I've been EverX, casting with you all tonight, so thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. See you later.
Thank you.